Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. In this video, we're going to learn about the chemical properties of our amino acid. So, amino acid ni, for the reaction, we're not going to look at it as with ion. We're going to take the amino acid as it is. So, the same as with ion juga, sebenarnya kita punya amino acid ni is actually amphoteric. Okay, kenapa amphoteric? Sebab adanya the presence of NH2 ni which act as our base dan our C double bond OOH ni which act as our acid. Okay, so sebab tu lah mostly the reaction dia kita tengok acid dengan base kita lah. Okay, so now let's look. Okay, so first reagent kita adalah HCl. So HCl ni is an acid. So bila dengan acid, dia nak react lah dengan base. So in this case, which part yang akan react? Dia akan react dengan our NH2 ni. So what would happen is that the nitrogen ni akan ambil the hydrogen itself. Ataupun dia akan donate the hydrogen, akan donate the electron to our hydrogen. Okay, and then once it's donated the hydrogen akan ada positive charge. Okay, and then this bond will break. So Cl ni akan accept electron. So that's why dia akan jadi Cl minus. Okay, but then Cl minus ni is dia akan attach rapat dengan our nitrogen ni sebab adanya positive dengan negative charge kan. So ada attraction lah. Tapi it's not directly bonded to nitrogen, it's not. Tapi nak buat plus Cl minus pun no problem. Tapi usually kalau this one we're gonna use Cl ni dekat-dekat dengan our nitrogen. So this is actually our salt lah. So that's why lah produk kita salt. Okay, the same goes here for our skeletal structure. HCl ni akan react dengan our base NH2. So what will happen is that we're going to accept another hydrogen. Sebab ia donate electron to the hydrogen kan. So kat sini ada plus. Lepas tu Cl minus ni pun nanti the bond will break. Dia akan accept electron. So adanya Cl minus kita. So this is the product when it reacted with HCl. So how about if we react it with our sodium hydroxide? So bila sodium react dengan sodium hydroxide is a base. So dia akan react dengan acid. So in this case our amino acid is actually our carboxylic ni lah, COOH. So what would happen? Okay, senang kamu nak tengok is that we're going to form water. So byproduct kita water. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the hydrogen dengan OH ni. So we're going to form byproduct kita plus H2O. So what is left is that yang O ni sebab dia dah when this bond is being dissociated, nanti dia akan accept electron kan. So oksigen ni dia sebenarnya O minus. Okay, so nanti dia akan accept yang sodium ni. So sodium ni is actually Na plus. Okay, so dapatlah. So this is actually our salt. And then byproduct kita water. So here sama juga. When we react dengan with our base, so what we're going to form is our water, hydrogen from our acid. Base akan bagi OH minus tambah H2O. But sekarang ni O ni akan jadi O minus and our sodium ni jadi Na plus. Okay, so that is the product when we react it with our sodium hydroxide. So right now let's look when we react it with NaNO2 HCl. So this is basically what you have learned in chapter 18, which is a nitrous acid test. And for your amino acids, sebab adalah NH2, N ni bonded to 2 of our hydrogen, and this N only attached to only one carbon. So dia adalah primary amine. So kalau primary amine ni dia punya produk banyak sikit. Ada alcohol, alkene, haloalkane, and the most important bit is actually our nitrogen gas. So yang ini please add in kat tengah-tengah ni ada lagi CH dekat sini. Okay, sebab nanti baru senang nak nampak form alkene. Okay, so what happened here? Okay, first kita tahu when we react dengan nitrous acid test, we're going to form alcohol. So alcohol tu dekat mana? NH2 ni is being removed. Kita akan substitute dengan OH. Okay, so that is the first one. Kita akan substitute dengan OH. So formula OH. So baru satu. Lepas tu kita akan form dengan alkene. So kalau dengan form dengan alkene, okay, yang first kita akan remove our NH2 ni juga. So kat mana alkene kita nak buat bond? Kalau kita buat dekat carbon sebelah dengan carbon double bond O ni, nanti carbon kita ada 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So kat sini kita akan form our double bond. Okay, and last but not least, we're going to form haloalkane. Tapi sebenarnya haloalkane ni sebenarnya kloro lah. Kita nak our chloride sebab ni adalah HCl. So yang kali ni NH2 ni is being substituted with our chlorine and Jangan lupa, the most important is actually our nitrogen gas. Buatlah arrow ke atas. Okay, so that's it. Tapi sebenarnya observation tapi buat je lah, selamat ada masalah pun. So that is for example A. So kalau example B macam mana pula? So first and foremost, we're gonna remove, nak form alcohol kan, so kita remove NH2 tu jadi OH. Lepas tu ada juga jadi haloalkin, ataupun sebenarnya nak substitute dengan Cl ni. So kita buang NH2 bonded dengan Cl. Okay, next we're gonna form alkene. So kita akan form alkene, tapi kita akan form alkene to this bond lah. Sebab kalau kita form bond dia di sini, nanti kita carbon nanti ada 5 bond pula. So mana ada carbon 5 bond? Okay, so here padam. So kat sini. And last but not least, jangan lupa adanya N2 gas. Okay, just to be safe buat layer atas. Tapi sebenarnya ni untuk observation je. Okay, and last but not least, what we're going to look at is actually the reaction of our carboxylic acid dengan alcohol. So reaction ni is actually our esterification, where we're going to remove our water. So what we're going to remove? Water. So remove hydrogen from our carboxylic acid, OH daripada kita punya alkohol. Sebab bila kita nak form esterification, sebenarnya kita nak form ester bila alkohol campur dengan carboxylic acid. So our NH2 ni tak nak reaction apa-apalah. So maknanya apa yang kita akan buat? So this is the structure. So what I'm going to do is, okay, so the hydrogen ni dah remove kan. So I'm just gonna, okay, delete this. Okay, oxygen ni, okay, lepas tu hydrogen tak tulis, OH tak tulis, dia directly bonded to our CH3. This is actually our esterification, carboxylic acid, alcohol. Okay, this part pula. So let's look here. So what we're going to remove? Carboxylic acid remove hydrogen, alcohol remove OH. Okay, so oxygen ni lepas tu dia akan bonded to which carbon, ataupun bonded to which atom. H ni dia tak bonded, OH pun dah tak. Ataupun kalau kamu tak nampak sangat, boleh je buat macam ni. You can do it this way pun tak ada masalah. So we're gonna remove. Okay, so H dengan OH ni, so what is left? 1, 2 carbon. So 1, 2 carbon. So ni pun esterification. Yang NH2 ni kekalkan sahaja. So that is the reaction of amino acid. Now we're going to look at the formation of peptide bond. So peptide bond ni is formed when the carboxyl group of our amino acid react with the amino group of another amino acid to form an amide by eliminating a water molecule. Okay, so contohnya kita tengok kan amino acid kita ni kan. So when remove these two water, we're going to form amide. So kenapa dia amide? Sebab ni this is actually what we call our amide. Okay, so this reaction we're gonna is condensation reaction where we're gonna remove water. Okay, so how do we gonna draw it? Sebenarnya hint lah yang ini sebab mostly memang kita dah bagi dah structure of amino acid kan. Senang kita nak buat. The N terminal with the free NH2 is always written on the left. Okay, on the left here, and the C terminal of the free COOH at the right side. So nanti senang kamu nak tengok, we're gonna remove our water. So let's look here, example A kita ni. Okay, so what we're gonna do adalah we're gonna remove this OH dengan this hydrogen. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is that, so what is left tu lah apa yang kita akan tulis. So yang ini Miss dah buat beforehand. Aci tak kisah. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove this OH dengan this hydrogen. So what is left is that I'm gonna take this dekat-dekat cing. Okay, and then what you're gonna do, okay, tapi yang for this case we have to because this is reaction between two amino acid kan. So this is actually formation of peptide bond. So dalam case ni we have to label. Nampak tak kena tunjuk ni? This is our peptide bond. So I'm just gonna label it here. It's between yang kan dah kita remove kan. So between carbon dengan nitrogen ni. So between this carbon and this nitrogen. Okay, so the same goes here. So kita punya carboxylic acid ni. Okay, so sebab tu lah senang kalau kita buat carboxylic acid is on the right hand side. Our NH2 is on the left hand side. So dalam case ni, okay, example A is actually two identical amino acid. This case is actually two different amino acids. So kita tengok carbon ni bonded to CH3. This carbon pula bonded to CH2SH. But then again, the same concept, we're going to remove the OH and we're going to remove the hydrogen. Okay, so kita remove OH dengan kita remove the hydrogen. So kita dapatkan sahaja. Kalau kamu kena tulis balik lah. Okay, and then we have to label. This is actually our peptide bond. So it seems so simple kan? So let's look at satu past year question. So dia kata dekat sini 2 amino ethanoic acid and 2 amino propanoic acid are amino acid. Dia kata draw all possible dipeptides arising from this amino acid and indicate the peptide bond. Sebab tu lah memang kita kena draw lah kita punya peptide bond ni. Okay, so kat sini I have draw my 2 amino ethanoic. Okay, so how to draw it? Ingat kita nak 1, 2 carbon. Okay, and then carbon yang ada double bond OH tu carbon number 1 lah. Ni jadi carbon number 2. So here 1, 2, 3. Alamak, tersilap pula. But then, as we can see here, what I would like to do ataupun apa yang kita nak buat sebenarnya senang kalau N terminal is always written on the left. So, contohnya, samalah juga. Is this one is actually the same as kalau buat NH2 dekat sini. Okay, bonded to, this is actually carbon number 2 kita. So, ni carbon number 1. Ni carbon number 2 kan? So, number 2, 1. Ni ada carbon number 3. So, carbon number 3 ni I'm just going to draw it here. Okay, so if you be unsure macam ni 1, 2, 3. So, ni Miss buat 1, 2, 3. So, we're going to make it OH. Okay, so here is actually the structure lah. Sebenarnya senang kalau kita buat macam ni lagi. Okay, so now let's look for the question. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to draw all the possible dipeptides. So before that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to label yang tu amino ethanoic acid ni AA, yang propanoic acid ni BB. So senang lah kita nak tengok how do we react it. Okay, so for the first possible one, okay, number 1 Miss nak reactkan yang ethanoic ni dengan Miss punya propanoic ni. Okay, so what I'm going to do is going to remove OH dengan hydrogen. Okay, so I'm just going to erase this. Okay, tapi sekarang ni hydrogen tu sebenarnya senang lagi kalau kita buat single bond dekat sini. Sebab nanti barulah boleh C double bond O tu directly attached to nitrogen. So, here is the first possibility lah where we reactkan AA ni dengan BB. So, jangan lupa juga besides that we're going to label ataupun indicate the peptide bond. Okay, so bila kita nak kena indicate peptide bond, so, I'm just going to show it here. Kena tunjuk the peptide bond is between our C double bond O dengan our nitrogen. So, that is actually the peptide bond where we're going to remove our water. So, that's the first possibility. The second one is that I'm going to react BB pula dengan AA. So, what's the difference? Okay, so yang ini I'm just going to make, this is actually yang the first reactant. So, yang ni the second one. So, nanti kita akan dapat different product sebenarnya. So, what we're going to do, remove the OH dengan hydrogen, one of the hydrogen. Again, what we would like to do, senang nak buat hydrogen tu single bond atas macam tu lah. Okay. So, jangan lupa labelkan the peptide bond between C double bond O dengan nitrogen. And then, we're going to call it as peptide bond. Okay, so that's the second one. Okay, the third one pula adalah apa? Sebenarnya ada lagi possibility. Sekarang ni, what I would like to do adalah between AA ni dengan AA pula. Sebenarnya sebab nanti kita akan form different pula produk. Okay, so between AA dengan AA, so maknanya I'm just going to copy paste sesama dekat sini. Okay, again, kalau yang OH akan remove, yang carboxylic acid remove OH, our amine remove one of the hydrogen and make it bond tu dia expanded lah, senang sikit. Hodoh sikit tapi tak apa. Kena label between our carbon double bond O dengan nitrogen peptide bond. So just to make it not confuse for you, Miss label je lah, ni adalah between AA dengan AA. Okay, so now it's actually between yang BB ni dengan BB ni sendiri. So, here is actually, just gonna draw ataupun copy paste je balik. Kalau kamu kena draw balik lah Okay, if you be unsure, boleh je buat yang equation plus is equal to. Yang ini just nak simplify kan. Okay, so again, rapatkan. Lepas tu, this is the fourth one. Jangan lupa label our peptide bond pada carbon C double bond O bonded to nitrogen. Okay, so that's the last solution. So, we have to look at the example of formation of peptide bond. Okay, soalan ni simple je. Kita tambah OH dengan H. Kita remove OH dengan H. Hint nak bagi dia senang, jangan lupa buat NH2 tu at your right hand side. On the left hand side. And COH at the right hand side. So, that's it. The end of our amino acid.